got my annual physical done at the Wellness Center off Himes Avenue. I remember the doctor pointing out on the chart in the office, and he says, "Dave, you're on the verge of being obese." And I kind of hesitated and startled. Didn't I do my second speech on Toastmasters? It was called Obesity Hits Home. It was about Max, my overweight beagle. And now me? Well, if that isn't motivation to lose weight. The time, Sunday, July 31st, 2011. I awoke to thunder and lightning, and I could hear the sound of the pelting rain outside the bedroom. I glanced at my watch. 2:30 in the morning. I went back to sleep. The next thing I know, my alarm is going off. I immediately get up. The time, 5 a.m. No lightning? No thunder? I went outside? No rain? Yes. Well, I had the usual Special K breakfast. I got dressed. I got my tech shirt on. After that, I put my 3 pair of shorts on. I wear compression shorts, bike shorts, and also my gold basketball shorts. You need a lot of layers when you're riding a bike. I filled my water bottle with Propel and ice. I packed my 4 energy bites from Gatorade. First, I put the light on around my visor. As you can see, it's going to be totally dark on the trail at this ungodly hour. Got that on. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my helmet. You always want to wear a helmet when you're riding, and I also put a washcloth, dry washcloth in the helmet. And then I put my helmet on. Oh, I forgot one thing. Biker gloves. You have to wear biker gloves when you're on the trail. Once I have all this on, I've got to top off the tires on the bike with air. And as I pump, and when I let go, it goes, and I do the other tire, pump it up, 100 psi. You know, that drives the dogs nuts at 5 in the morning when I'm doing this. Well, I'm ready for the trail. The time, 5:30. I'm outside. The pre-dawn darkness, stillness, tranquility, peacefulness, quietness. As I turn the light on, and I'm getting as ready to ride on the trail, it's about a mile from the trail. It's almost as my light is shining through the misty, damp air. And it's almost like I'm intruding on this peaceful moment. You see, today's goal is to bike 45 miles, something I haven't done in over 30 years. Riding on the trail to me is my me time. I think everyone should have me time. You know, it's a time where I can think, I can sing, I can pray, and reflect, and enjoy God's creation, all while I'm getting a cardiovascular workout. I love the fact that biking is a low-impact sport. These Sunday morning rides are a highlight of the week for me. You may think I'm crazy, but I beg to differ. The trail, you see, is about a 7-mile stretch. It runs from Ehrlich Road south to Hillsborough Avenue. It has 2 overpasses, 2 underpasses, a lot of curving roads, and also has 3 water stops. You see, I'm on the trail now, and the first stop, right on the trail, that first mile comes the first mountain climb. I get off the saddle, and I'm pedaling to keep up a 10-mile-per-hour pace as I go up the hill. I made it, I made it, I made it, I made it. I conquered the mountain. I victoriously looked down at what a view of Gun Highway. You see, you have to use your imagination when you're on the trail. Before the first major descent of the day, this stretch of trail is called my wake-up call. As I shift the bike into 18th gear, I'm going down the mountain 15, 20, 25, 30 miles per hour. Wow! I pretend that I'm in the Tour de France, where the bikers are averaging 35, 45 miles per hour all the time for that split second. Well, I made it to level ground, and I'm pushing this next mile of the trail to the hump. And I want to do is I've set a goal to make it to the hump while I'm still going over 20 miles per hour. And as I'm going from that 30 miles per hour top speed, I feel I'm losing the momentum from the hill. But I grind and I keep pedaling and push it. This is my sprint. This is my sprint race here. And I did it. I made my goal. I was 20.1 miles per hour over the hump. I can feel my muscles working. I'm officially awake. Good morning, Tampa Bay. Well, since it's still dark out, it is kind of eerie what all is looking at me when I'm riding on this trail. I never want to turn around in the dark and look behind me. Ugh, that gives me the creeps. This morning was a fairly typical ride. I saw 2 cats, a rabbit that almost got caught in my front tire. He who hesitates is lost. I passed a couple of unlit runners. Now those unlit runners, they have to, shame on them. They should be marked. I almost hit one of them too. I saw 2 armadillos, all while in the dark. What's pretty neat is after I finished one leg of the trail, it was so neat to see the subtle changes taking place. The quantity and quality of light. Before it was dark, and now I could see a lot better, and things were almost in a pre-dawn setting. It is so magical to see the transformations that take place. My light became less and less dominant as the morning blossomed. Yet the sun still had not risen yet. As I started the 4th leg of this trip en route to my 30 miles, in front of me was the most beautiful sunrise. The sun was trying to peer through the distant cloud cover near the horizon. The sun's rays brightly shone over the cloud formations, and it truly was an amazing experience. And I thought of the verse in Lamentations 3. It says, "Thy mercies are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness." And I sang a couple verses of that great hymn in chorus. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All that I needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Well, I made it 2/3 of the way to my goal. 1 round trip left to make. I felt pretty good. I took another energy bite, finished my Propel drink, and drank some more water. And it's so important in the Florida summer heat to stay hydrated while going on long bike rides. Now I'm pedaling into uncharted territory. 45 miles is quite a distance. I felt pretty good, and I wondered, would I be able to accomplish the task at hand? I hope so. My body was drenched in a cleansing sweat. One thing I did after each leg, I would take off my helmet, and I'd take off the towel, and I'd wipe all the sweat off, especially my face, because you get all that salt in your eyes. My shirt totally soaked, my socks and shorts. Well, while biking, I almost felt like I was in air conditioning with the breeze blowing into my drenched clothes. As I started the final round trip, I was feeling pretty confident. By this time, the sun was shining and it was getting hotter by the minute. You can see why I treasure the early morning rides, where you can get a great deal of exercise done before the extreme heat overtakes you. 9 a.m. I finished! Woo! My reward for finishing: 2 Egg McMuffins and a large unsweet tea at McDonald's. I did it! 45 miles. Done in Florida in July in the heat of summer. 3 hours and 20 minutes of biking. I burned 2,800 calories. My heart rate, which I checked every 7 miles, my heart rate averaged about 115 beats per minute. I also checked now, since I've been doing these bike rides for about 4 or 5 weeks, my heart rate, my resting heart rate is about 45 or 50. So you can see, just from doing these long bike rides, the heart doesn't have to beat as hard and it becomes much more efficient. Well, I'm very much looking forward to competing in this year's Cooters Tri in Inverness, Florida. This is in October. For the first time, I'm actually going to compete to place in my age group, not just to complete the race. Well, I hope that you were able to see a glimpse into the enjoyment and enthusiasm that I have from doing these early morning bike rides. And who knows, next month I'm going to do a 60-mile bike ride in September. See you on the trail.